Diese unsterblichen Schiffe.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Okay, wir können jetzt hier selbstständig erkunden. Also wir sind Koblad. Ich weiß nicht, ob es da jemals irgendwo in irgendeiner Serie was gab über die Koblad. Ich glaube nämlich nicht. Und wenn, dann war es wahrscheinlich dieses Nein und das habe ich ja nie gesehen. Doch, ich mache gerade einen Rerun. Also ich gucke es mir gerade tatsächlich an. Ja? Ein Modellzug. Tutu.
He's still got a thing for trains.
Kennen die sich?
The warp engines of their day, apparently.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
You can spare me the pomp and circumstance. There's plenty of work to be done without all that.
You always had a work ethic like nothing I'd ever seen. That's just what this ship needs at the moment. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I heard that you had an equipment malfunction.
Is that what they're calling it? No, that's just someone being generous. If anything, it was a leadership malfunction. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career? Right there, within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
You have to look to the future. You can't dwell on the past, on things you can't change.
There's nothing that can be done about it now. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. 2 previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
Who is the senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Kurz gucken hier. Ah, wir sind auf den Gängen, okay. Ups, das hat gerade ein bisschen gehakt. Also diese kleinen Kinderkrankheiten haben sie nicht ausgemerzt bekommen. So, den Bolianer haben wir schon gesehen. Wer sitzt denn da an der Ops? Das ist ein Bajoraner. Das war jetzt zu schnell.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Wieso heben alle die Augenbraue?
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done.
You really do know a thing or two about me. I'm glad I could inspire you, but it's important to chart your own path.
Thanks. You can count on it.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Dürfen wir das Vieh rausfliegen? Sit in Captain Chevy. Wir laufen jetzt immer ein bisschen rum. Okay. Das ist also die Sicht quasi von der Brücke, auf diesen beschaulichen Nebel. Das ist Helm. Ist das Ops hier? Sie spricht nicht mit uns. Sie ist, Helm war doch, warte mal. Science Station.
Science Station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
So, was ist hier? Was haben wir da? Wollen auch alle nicht mit uns reden. Das ist ja furchtbar. Die taktische Station. Also, das ist quasi Worfs Platz.
Tactical Station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Das gute alte LKs. So, das ist Commander Ermott.
Operations.
Ach, erst der Ops.
Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermott.
Okay, dann hätte sich das geklärt, dann ist er jetzt tatsächlich, also er ist hier die Con quasi. Der Helmsman. Das würde es erklären.
The Helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class.
Zentaurenklasse.
Capable of quick
Okay.
maneuvers.
Es tut mir leid.
What she can do.
Ich dachte auch erst Zentaurenklasse, aber dann sah das halt aus wie eine Miranda-Klasse, ein Refit. Aber so kann man sich täuschen. So, wir sind fertig. Wir können uns jetzt einen der Stühle hier schnappen. Activate Tactical Holo. Was?
Tactical Hollow Dias. Just like they've got on the Excelsior.
Mhm. Was machen die? Kann man dann den Zustand des Schiffes sehen, oder wie? XO-Share, Begin, Take Seat, Examine. Okay.
The first officer's seat. My seat. Right now, though, I need to fill in for Captain Solano.
Dann müssen wir auf den anderen, da setzen wir uns jetzt hin.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Mission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
Ich glaube, wir hatten jetzt auch gar keine andere Wahl, als dem zuzustimmen. Storm
The storm is
Surge.
getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Das sieht schon so ein bisschen so aus, als würden wir uns kaum bewegen. Aber tun wir wahrscheinlich tatsächlich. Also jetzt wissen wir,
Every
dass die
time we're out
Leute...
here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
So, was nehmen wir denn? Ach, so liebes bisschen. Soll ich das jetzt alles wissen, oder wie? Ah, okay. Es wird uns gleich gesagt.
Beginning recalibration.
Yes. Turn nodes to enter the circular indicators. Tune nodes.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Sieht aus wie Hal.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew, and he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Waren wahrscheinlich Freunde.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
Sturm?
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities.
Red alert!
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Commander Westbrook, use the deflector dish.
Already working on it. Optimal timing displayed. It's going to be tight.
Good. Send the pulse on my command. Now!
We got it!
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
Experienced a surge of radiation.
you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
It can blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Also es wäre töricht gewesen, die Schilde zu aktivieren, weil wir dann wahrscheinlich voll getroffen worden wären. Schätze ich mal.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Okay, das ist nur ein bisschen, ne? Rumgedingse, ein bisschen rumgeklicke und hier und da. Erstmal.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Ich verstehe.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Okay, das scheint zu funktionieren. Können wir da jetzt lang gehen?
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Okay, da sind sie wieder. Da kommen sie wieder von links und rechts. Na. Die sind nicht so einfach zu treffen, ne? Ich finde die Steuerung aber relativ gut. Das soll ja die... Also verdammt. Ich bin direkt reingelaufen.
Are you alright?
Yeah. Sir took most of it. Just snuck up on me.
You have damaged your suit.
Die sind plötzlich aufgetaucht.
Energy trafficking is down to 60%.
Die laufen auch auf einen zu, so ein bisschen, ne? Da muss man so ein bisschen gucken, die können plötzlich
We're
auftauchen.
almost to the regulator.
Müssen wir ein bisschen schneller reagieren hier. Okay, hinter einem sind sie... What the... Müssen uns ein bisschen beeilen, glaube ich.
We're at the regulator point. Opening the access panel.
And now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle, we have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Ich weiß nicht, ob das so richtig ist. Müssen die Wellenlinien in einer sein? Ah ja, verstehe, die müssen einer sein, ne? So, die sind soweit in
The
Ordnung.
EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chobot can...
Das sind die Halterungen der Station. Kratzen gerade am Schiff entlang. So.
Get down! Diaz to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp.
Die Andockklammern sind gerade verloren gegangen.
We've got a lot of debris coming down. Hull vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Natürlich nicht.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way to...
people on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you
Jara,
disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
Dann machen wir das eben.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
Starbase, stand. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
So, mal gucken, was das jetzt gibt.
This is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Das war wirklich rechtzeitig.
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Oh Gott.
I got you.
Die hat's übel mitgenommen.
Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, The way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Erzähler there to access the interior.
Na dann mal los. Der Rückweg ist nämlich, den wir genommen haben, nicht sicher. Da ist überall so, sind diese Blitze unterwegs und da würden wir gegrillt werden. Deswegen machen wir das, was uns jetzt der Chefingenieur sagt.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this.
You better be right behind me.
Na komm schon.